Whoop, sorry, I had my mic muted.
No, I could hear you.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah,
have you pinged the
Discord?
people in the Discord?
We're actually getting that done right now.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yep, we are live. So, let's switch.
I think we can hear you in the stream.
Okay, awesome.
you should mute.
Oh,
this is why we should mute.
Yeah. Sorry, it's my very first one, so trying to iron out the details.
Yeah.
So
see, like with the live stream will be starting soon. Where you're talking and my talking or on live.
Oh, oops. Let me.
We shouldn't do that.
Okay.
We shouldn't do that.
Lesson learned. So.
All right. Nobody was watching. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
OBS
are we on?
Oh, yep, we are on. Except for OBS is freaking out. Give me 1 second. There we go.
All right.
It was showing a random Discord box instead of your you. Now we have you.
All right. Okay. Okay. We're back in track.
Yep. We are live and good to go after a little bit of turbulence. Hi everyone. My name is Gwyn Kim. I am new. I'm the newest person at Ocean Drive right now. I am the digital content manager joining to do the streams, of course, of all the other stuff. I'm an avid gamer myself. I go by the handle of ODS Geek on Discord. So if you find that guy, this is him. You got me. And we have here Jin Sang Kim, the creative director for Lost Eidolons. For those of you who are here for the first time, he is the great mind behind our greatest game coming, Lost Eidolons. For those of you coming back, we're back with live streams here.
Yeah, we're back. Woohoo!
Yep.
Relax.
Thank you. Actually, for anyone who's new, is there anything you'd like to kind of say to introduce yourself?
So he's new.
I am new for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
So just a brief update about the stream plan. A lot of people were probably curious where the dev streams went. So it's back, officially back. We are changing things up just a little bit. So previously it was a monthly 1-hour stream with a live Q&A. The basics are going to be fairly similar. We're just going to shorten the time to 30 minutes, but actually have it bi-weekly. So that's more like bite size and you can watch through the entire thing without, feeling like it's going to go on forever, for example. So that's that. Our main focus will be to hear, since we have our creative director, we'll be hearing about what the creative process is behind all the good stuff that we see. And for today, our main focus will be the closed beta 2 that we just announced the dates for today.
Right.
Yep. Exciting. It's coming on the 28th of April, which is a Thursday. And not a coincidence, our next stream will actually be on that day, on the 28th. Same time, 5 p.m. PDT. So we'll kind of herald you into the build as well when that happens. So just to give you a brief overview of the beta, the upcoming beta, it's going to be April 28th through May 2nd, PDT times. Those of you in different time zones, I am sorry, I can't do the calculations off the top of my head, so our web post has the actual times in Eastern time and also GMT. and then it's going to be the first 8 chapters out of the 27 total for the game. So you'll get to play through, and it'll be on Steam for PC and Xbox Series S and Series X. Talking about Xbox being one of the platforms, Jinsang, do you have anything you can share about like if there were any challenges or like anything interesting or like something that was kind of new to you when you started preparing for the Xbox build? Because this is our first Xbox beta.
Well, the Xbox, the problem that we mainly faced with the Xbox is that Xbox does the limit on the memories we can use.
Mm-hmm.
So on PC platform, we had a lot of freedom to use up our PC's memories, and we never had a problem with the lack of memories. But then the Xbox limits the memories usage, so we had to carefully optimize all the memory usage we were freely doing it previously. So we are having a lot of trouble right now. Yeah, implementing, porting our PC version to the Xbox. So yeah, all those cutscenes and the resource using had to be optimized. That's a lot of trouble right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's going well, right? Yeah, it's I think it's going well.
Okay.
I think so.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Oh no, thank you.
I mean, I was thanking the Jungsu for asking.
Well, thank you.
You should be, Gin. You should be watching the chat all the time.
Yes.
this is his first time streaming, so he's right now. I'm pretty sure he's really like nervous and like. Yeah, his brain is like white out right now.
I am gonna try hard. I'm not blanking out, but yes.
All right.
I ask for everyone's understanding on that regard for sure.
He's going to be better. Yeah.
Thank you. I was told that the volume was a little low, so let me try tinkering a tad bit.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, thank you, Jungsu. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm reading the chat this time.
That's the spread. Yeah, let's go.
Cool. So let's see. With that, for the upcoming beta, it's gonna be a similar deal like the last time, where we'll have feature upvote for any feedbacks. This is going to be a web page that we put up, and of course we'll be updating, where we can have suggestions or like bug reports or anything, and people who experience the same thing or agree can upvote things. As you can see in the numbers there, it's just like it kind of gives us visibility and also kind of the sense of how widespread like a sentiment is, pretty much. So we'll be using that. More details will be announced later when we're actually open, and of course when we're gonna have it all good to go and set up for everyone, so stay tuned. And with that, we have a few things we want to talk about. First thing actually is going to be one of the, personally I feel like it's one of the biggest things between the previous beta and this upcoming beta. It's going to be the cutscenes that have changed. So the left side is going to be the previous build's cutscenes, and the right side is going to be the same cutscenes in the upcoming beta build. Jinsang, do you mind just going over briefly like what exactly you changed? Because the still images unfortunately don't do the full justice to these. So if you can share what changes you made, and also if there were any thoughts behind it, any processes.
Okay. Yeah. The biggest the big feedback we got from the CD1 was that the cutscenes wasn't like immersive as it should be. I mean, we had no voice. our characters' animations wasn't like smooth enough. I mean, obviously they weren't really polished enough. We were we were working in the process, and we didn't have all those facial emotions, facial animations to actually to make it immersive enough, so that it was really hard for users to get into the game, like get into the story. I mean, like having voice could be much better, but like the animations and our camera work wasn't, good enough. So I had to make a decision to make it as immersive as possible. And it was really for me to make a hard, it was really hard for me to, make a decisions to go from what we were doing it to what we are right now doing it. So I mean, I like the way we did in the CB1 build, the dialogue with all those 3D characters coming in and out with all those camera work. But then we couldn't have enough resource time to implement all those facial emotions and animations and all the camera work. It takes up a lot of resources. We found that it's not going to make us launch in time. So I had to make choice to make it as simple as possible, but then as immersive as possible as well. So I had to go back to where all those old SRPG use. When I say like and for our teammates, I tell them that it's a tiki-taka dialogue scene. So the character pops up, and another character pops up in the right side and left side, and then all those old games come up with the illustrations. But then we had beautifully made the 3D model character. Mm-hmm. So we came up with the 3D model coming up with a little bit of animations.
Gotcha.
And then we also will have the lip sync. The lip will move according to the voices they will have. So the biggest changes we made was the voice will be there in CB2. You could get into the story more, like much better with the voices on. Yep. So you don't have to read it or carefully, And then we're gonna have a simple dialogue, tiki-taka dialogues with a lot of sound effect and a little bit of animations. So yeah, and we try to make it as immersive as possible.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah. So on the left we have like full like in-game engine type of cutscenes in the CB1 build, if I understand correctly. Yes. And then we switched it into a standing like a, I wouldn't say CG, but yeah, standing character and a dialogue box type of back and forth dialogue, which you mentioned as tiki-taka, which is, I believe, a soccer-derived term, right?
People can hear you too well. I think you should have your mic near you.
Thank you.
I can hear you good though. Okay. I'm not sure why people cannot hear you.
It's my shyness coming through over the internet.
Okay.
I did boost the volume a little bit, so it should be better.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
He's too shy.
It's my first time, eh? But yeah.
All right.
Thank you for relaying that. So it should be good, but definitely keep me posted. I am trying to either chat as much as possible, so go for it. Let me know if there's anything I can do better. But yeah, back to the discussion. Yes. So the tiki-taka, I believe that's a soccer-derived term. With like back and forth passes. So you see on the right, it's going to be a dialogue box with the beautiful 3D model. I love the character models, by the way, in this game. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for making them so great. So yeah, they changed like full in-game like cutscenes where like you see in other games into more of like a back and forth dialogue. And with that, as Jin Sang already mentioned, we have lip flaps that go along with VO. I have muted the audio for this one because I don't you know, it's a big surprise. I love the VO work in this, so you will see it in the beta build when you get to it. But one thing I have to tell you, not just to hype you up, but honestly, I was impressed by was that so the VO and the lip flaps, like it's something that some games miss, but like when the audio ends, the lips should stop moving, and some games just don't do that too well. But Lost Eidolons, for the ones that I've seen, was like, how did they line it so well? I was honestly impressed when I first saw it. So you guys all have something to look forward to. Sorry I got the sneak peek because I'm an insider, but it's coming to you in a little over 2 weeks.
Cool.
Thank you. So that's that. With that, there were also a lot of visual / UI and like user experience type of changes. One big thing that you'll see a lot is going to be the in-battle fonts that changed. The left side is the old one, where you see the relatively simple the guard text and the number. While on the right you see, well, that's also boosted by that critical effect, but you see the guard text also has that little shield icon, and then the numbers, the font itself got like gradations and stuff going on. Anything like, was there anything that prompted you to like make certain changes or like decisions for these?
Well, there were also feedback from the CB1 where the whenever we get hits or when we hit, they wanna have like you know, as like they really, people want to feel that they were being hit, you know. So we would like to make it as you know, cool as possible. So like instead of like simply popping up the guard or critical the characters, we had to have we made it a little bit of animations. If you look at the critical, it will, you know, kind of animate, you know, the C and the letter R, those characters will, you know, kind of move up. So that's how we my daughter is begging me to get her iPad. Excuse me.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, she's gone. So so we call this in Korean. It's called the 타격감. I'm not sure what we could call in English.
There may not be a single word, but like it's literally it's a sense of like action or like hitting, like the impact. Sense of impact, I guess. Yeah.
We want to have like the most impact when we were hit or when we were hitting or being hit.
Yes.
So well, we made a little bit of like character animations, and we're gonna have a more effect on the screen and when we are actually going to launch. But yeah, we are trying to make it as, you know, impact as possible.
Gotcha, that makes sense. And for those of you watching this, the static image does not do justice, but as Jin Sang mentioned, yes, the each letter of the word critical actually gets like
it gets
enlarged / like emboss, like in turn, like it in succession, like CRICAL. So if you see it in motion, in action, it's gonna be even better. Cool. So the next change that I wanted to talk about was we also have in-battle dialogues. Those were actually changed slightly. Some might consider it minor, some might consider it major enough. But here, like even off the bat, what I noticed was like previously we had like the characters in full view, and then the camera was just like at a certain angle from top. With the newer build, we actually have the character side obscured, but we have that the dialogue window and the character model more popping up. So anything you would like to share for this change and this decision?
Well, for this screen, if you look at it, there are like two different differences between them. Like you mentioned, the battle screen is quite unfocused, right? So that you could focus more on the characters talking, And if you look at the writing, we have changed the writing on characters talking so that it's kind of, this is actually like the left one is the writer, but generally we have improved all the writings for the characters so that you can focus more on the characters talking.
Gotcha,
Yeah, this
gotcha.
is little bit of a details, but
Yes.
we thought that this should be better for you to get into the story during the battle.
Yeah, those details count and they add up. So
and addition to those, there will be some voiceovers too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. VO is there too for the in battle dialogue as well. So you're up for a treat, guys. It's coming. Next up is the equipment UI. There were certain changes that I hope it's as visible on the stream as well, but there were certain elements that were swapped around, removed, added. Like for example, the left side, we originally had the character's own stats on the left of the character, and then it actually got removed. So like any changes you made for the equipment UI, and also any thoughts behind why you came up to that decision?
Well, we wanted to show the stats of the characters to be shown everywhere. So we removed the left panel, but then we moved those panel, disassemble those and then put it into the, on the bottom. So that if you look at the bottom of the new equipment UI, there's a name of it, the level of the character, and the movement stat, and then strength, and all those other character stats. And you could swap the those stats. We call this stat what do you call it? Direct stat, and then there's a indirect stat where it's like the strength and wisdom and dexterity. Those are the direct stats, and there will be indirect stat where the attack stats and so on. So you could swap those with the there's the view combat stats. Yeah, we call the combat stats. So if you click click the button or the keys, you could swap these stats so that those stats you can watch it in everywhere in the new UI.
Okay.
So wherever you go, you can watch the stats.
So does that apply to both the direct stats, or like the character stats, and the combat stats? And you can also, the bottoms remains the same, where you can toggle between direct stats or like the character stats and combat stats throughout the UI, and it's visible from any menu screen, right? Gotcha.
And then you can also change the characters with the in terms of the pad button, the right trigger and left trigger. If you click on it, you could swap the characters too. And then the upside the menus, you could go with the it says a page down and page up key, and in pad it will be the I'm not so sure how we call that, but not the trigger ones, but the
bumpers. Oh yeah, bumpers, right? The bumpers, above the triggers are the bumpers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
left and right.
Yeah, the bumpers. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So the triggers, or I think for keyboard and mouse it was Q and E, will cycle through the characters.
That's right. Yeah, Q and E.
Yep. So that you don't have to like click on a list to go through. You just quickly swap through and like cycle through the characters. And then the bumpers or page up and down for keyboard will be cycling through the actual menu categories, right? And as you mentioned, the stats being integrated or moved to the bottom, it does point out that a lot of things changed into icons, right? So instead of just like showing text like saying strength or dexterity for like stats, you opted to show them in icons, right?
Yeah, if you point the mouse over it, it will show you what that icon is for. It will actually say that it's a strength or the movement stats. So you will get used to it. But if you're not used to it, you could always look at the text.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we had a new icons all over top and bottom, you know, and then left. Yeah. We worked out everything out.
Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, and it makes it a lot visually appealing to me personally, at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And on a similar vein, there were some changes to the Grimoire UI, where the spell book, if you'd like to say. Well, of course the icons in there are there, but right now you are seeing the grids of the area of effect. Well, the image is cycling through, so it'll be back. But where the skills range or area of range, actually an area of effect. The left is the range, and then the right side is the area of effect, showing in the Grimoire, where it's more straightforward and accessible. Can you tell us more about that change?
Yeah, this is from the feedback of the CB as well. What users were mainly focused on, the skills and the magic spells, were how strong is it, and how, you know, how far can I, you know, use it, you know, the ranges, and what's the area of the effect, you know. So we had to make it visible to users so that they can expect. I mean, they can expect what they were using it. So first of all, we wanted to make every skill's animation into the game. Like we could have a video, you know, nice, cool looking, how it's going to be look like. But then I found that it's really, really hard to make the video for users to notice the range of the skills and the area of the effect. So what we did put was what we actually did in the previous game we made. We had a little, you know, the grid boxes, and show them how far how many, you know, tiles you can, you know, go over, and you know, the ranges and area effect to show. Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, definitely. And it's helpful because sometimes it's not straightforward. So it's good to have this information just like very handy. Excuse me. And accessible. Before even, you know, like it's some games I've had to like go and start using things to figure it out, and I'll you know, sometimes this can be a good thing, sometimes it's difficult, but this, you know, like you have the information at your fingertips, so that you have it accessible and you can pretty much put it into action right away, which I appreciate.
It's a really like hard for users to recognize the ranges when you just say like ranges 1 to 3. I mean, it could be like the you know, could be just the straight, you know, straight boxes, you know, not like what we are seeing in the screen, like the what we call this, the, you know, like we had to visualize for users.
I totally hear you, because I have actually played some other games with grid-based tiles. I will not name the game, but the descriptions would sometimes say like 3 cells or like 3 squares, 3 tiles, 4, and like it's actually like I feel like some of them would be like 3 tiles in a straight line. Sometimes it's actually 3 tiles within the attack range, so like it's like actually like 9 tiles or whatever, because it's like 3 wide and then 3 forward. It can become very confusing. So yes, I definitely appreciate as a gamer that it's better than just, you know, trying to explain it in text. Just show it to me and I got it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. No. So yeah, this is one of the changes that I personally really like seeing. That 30 minutes passed by very quickly, actually.
Yeah, I told you that. It really like flies, like, you know, fast.
Oh yeah,
the time.
Hey, not too bad for my first time, I guess.
You're doing great. You're
Thank
doing
you.
great.
I appreciate it. And everyone showing support in the chat, I really appreciate it. So for now, so we have a bit more that we did prepare, but we're gonna save it for next stream, which is gonna be the 28th, April 28th, Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight
That's the
Saving
day
Time.
of the beta. Yeah.
Yes, the beta open date as well. So I'm gonna ask you to stay tuned if you want to hear more about the game and all the stories of the dev side and the creative process. But for now, I'd like to make sure that the floor is open for any questions in the chat. If you do have any questions, feel free to shoot them. We have Jin Sang here to. Oh, there. Sorry, I couldn't find my hands. We have our creative director here to tell us all about, I guess, anything that you can share publicly. But
you could actually ask Green for questions too. If you have
no
any.
guarantee that I'll have the answers for it.
Well, feel free to ask.
Yes.
So good.
I'm gonna give the chat a little time, but meanwhile, personally, as a gamer, this just occurred to me. I'm gonna ask my question before it goes through the chat. But if anyone,
I have to be prepared.
Oh yeah, but if anyone in the viewership, if you have a question, please do share it in the chat. But my question would be, as the creative director, and you oversee not just the beta, but like all the content that's planned, being in development, already developed, like being polished, everything. Like, but for the sake of the current upcoming beta, what are you? Well, you don't have to answer it if it's a spoiler. Sorry. What are you the most proud of, and like what do you like? What's your best thing that you want to share with the players? What can they look forward to the most?
Okay. What we are mainly focused on right now is, I think the battle was cool enough during the CB1, but then what the users criticized more on the story-wise. I mean, story is fine, but then the game wasn't, actually presenting the stories as immersive as what users were expecting.
Gotcha.
So for this CB, we were trying to, focus on make the story, more immersive, and so that users can, jump into the story as soon as possible. That was my main goal of the CB2. So that this is about the launching level of the the spec. I mean the what should I call it? The story should be as what we are expecting to be launching. So if there were any feedback that it's not as immersive as possible, or it's not like what you said, Jin Sang, come on, if I get that kind of feedback, then I'm ruined. I'm screwed.
No.
So that's what we are focusing on most.
Gotcha. And I mean, I hope you're not ruined. But it's one question we actually had. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's also a beta, so I'd hope you're not ruined. But we'll see. We'll hear what the players have to say. Yes.
Okay.
One question we did get was, do choices matter in Lost Eidolons? I am thinking it's about the story, whether the player decisions change the storyline. Go ahead.
Choices will matter in certain cases. There will be choices that you have to make sometime, and that choices add up to the ending. So we had two different endings, and when there are choices that you have to make throughout the game, and that choices will add up some points and will show you different endings. So I will say choices matter. And that's the story-wise. And the character-wise, we talked about this for the rapport system. And when you you have to make choices over like characters who to talk to, you know. So that kind of choices will matter too. I mean, it's a kind of you know, it's we can talk about this next stream, but you know, I would say it would matter.
Gotcha.
Not much, but it does matter.
So, those of you who are new to the game and you know all this information, there's a rapport system where it's like a relationship building in the camp side of things, not in battle, where you can. I think there are like total like 30-ish other characters than Eden, the protagonist, right? Where you can talk to, and like some many of them will they will join your forces and things like that. So there is an entire system built around building relationships and bonds with each of these different characters. Unfortunately, due to the limited time, we will be covering it for next stream. But if that interests you, well, you know to be back. But yeah, and Jin Sang mentioned that as a player, as the Great Tactician or Eden, some decisions that you make in building those relationships will actually have implications as well. So we'll probably cover it a little bit more, but yes. So, sorry, long story short, choices matter both on a macro story level and on a micro like relationship or bond level with different characters. Any other questions?
Feel free to ask. I'm ready to answer every question you have.
Well, I mean, if you can't think of any questions right now, we will have this on a bi-weekly basis anyway, so this will not be your last chance. And of course, I am very sure that once people start playing the beta and like actually experience, again, sorry, I got the insider pass and got to get the experience ahead of time, but once people start playing, I'm pretty sure they'll actually even find more questions about, you know, this is our chance to ask you. So yeah, if there are no questions, I think we can wrap up today's stream. Once again, the next stream is going to be Thursday, not Tuesday. The 28th of April at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. We will have the VOD up. Sorry, there. Hello. We will have the VOD up. Sorry. So don't worry, you didn't miss out. Or even if you missed out, it's gonna be available. But yeah. So.
Yeah, you could always watch over. Don't worry about it. And also always feel free to ask during the stream. I'm ready to answer, and Green is as well. And even if you miss the questions during the stream, feel free to ask us in the Discord. We are in the Discord as well. I'm in it. Green's in it. Everybody's in it.
Yep.
Everyone is watching. Why anyone is not asking any question? Come on, we are ready to answer.
Yep. There are times when I look at it, I'm like, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm always talk to me. Come on, Yep. So one day there was one user who was asking me something. I was like, right away. I went right away, and you know what was it? What it was?
What was it?
The question. There was a spammer in our Discord. So she was asking me to kick him out of it. And I did it right away.
You were on top of it because you were ready. We actually did get one more question. If you don't mind answering, does Eden find love? Ooh.
Does Eden find love? Ooh. Okay. What should I say? I think so. I think Eden finds love. You will have some characters, yeah, but not like anyone you like to, but there will be some it's a kind of hard to say choices you could make, but it's not the spoiler, but
yeah, I was like,
it's well, I think so. Yeah, I think Eden will find his love.
So romance will be an option for some, or I guess how many will be a spoiler, but some characters, right?
Yeah, some characters, when you using the rapport system, you will find love. But I couldn't. We didn't have enough like lethals to have everybody to make for you to choose from. But yeah, certain number of characters.
Cool. And I guess it will be will actually any of those options be I guess in a limited scale because it's only the first 8 chapters, but will players be able to experience that part of the game in the upcoming beta?
Rapport system, you
or
say?
Like romance side of the rapport system, yeah.
Okay, romance side of it. No, I don't think so. It has to be deep into the game.
Gotcha. That makes sense. But at least the relationship building part, yes, it'll be part of the CB upcoming beta, right? Yep.
There will be some of them. You will have some experience.
Maybe you'll get some foreshadowing out of it. Who knows? Cool.
Cool.
There are no other questions. We can wrap up today's stream. I was just checking to make sure I'm not missing anything because
like we are almost hitting like 20 viewers right now. Our graph is like growing up. But it's always like my personal streaming is the same. Like when we are trying to end, people will show up. Oh, is it end already? I want to watch more.
I mean, feel free to throw us questions so that we can't end.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But well, yeah. Just in case. Well, if you do want to hear more about us, or sorry, more about Lost Eidolons, of course. But can't think of any questions right now. Don't worry, we're coming back in a little over 2 weeks on the 28th. And of course the VOD for this entire stream, including my little like, I was muted the whole time for the intro part. My embarrassing moments will also be
sure you mute.
will also be part of the highlights that will go up after the stream ends. So thank you everyone for your time and joining us today. And thank you, Jin Sang, for your time and your busy day. So until next time, see y'all everyone.
All right, let's wrap it up. See you. Bye bye.